The New England Patriots started their preseason off with a statement 48-18 win over the Washington Commanders, and it kicked off with a Travion Henderson 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, potentially signaling a new era for the New England Patriots, who've struggled the past two seasons, two 4-13 seasons. You bring in Mike Vrabel, and you bring in a completely new overhaul of free agents with all the cap space they had, some new shiny draft picks like Travion Henderson. This team could be poised to be in for a really sneaky 2025 season. So we're going to break this down here on Blitz Sports Media about why the Patriots could be making some noise in the AFC this year. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Blitz Sports Media. I'm Ryan Linkletter, Blitz Link on socials. I'm here with Dan Loya, and we are talking the New England Patriots and how they might be a sneaky contender. Now, this team has had a little bit of an uphill battle since Tom Brady left and became Tampa Tom, won a ring over there. Bill Belichick's now out. Gerard Mayo was in last year, but it wasn't much change from the 4-13 in 2023 to the 4-13 team in 2024, despite the big first round investment in quarterback Drake May. They started the year with Jacoby Brissett at the helm, your Cardinal now, but they went to Drake May over some time after Brissett didn't necessarily show too many flashes. And May wasn't much better, and it was partly due to the situation he had in front of him. A really bad offensive line, not a lot of talented weapons. Tight end was the leading receiver for this team last year. The backfield was filled with fumbling problems between Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson. And for the first time in a long time, teams were not fearing New England's defense. Now, Dan, what was your overall analysis on this team in 2024?
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of weapons on offense, man. Like you said, Hunter Henry led them in receiving, and their offensive line was real bad. You got to protect your franchise quarterback, Drake May. This year, this past draft, that's exactly what they did. They drafted the franchise left tackle out of LSU, Will Campbell. They bolstered the offensive line, and then they added a lot of free agents on defense. So it's only up for there. And then the most important thing is obviously new coach Mike Vrabel, the three-time Super Bowl champion with the Patriots. He returns home and he's ready to change that franchise.
Yeah, and I think that's the kind of key thing here is they don't necessarily want to forget about the Bill Belichick, Tom Brady era. Obviously, Gerard Mayo was a big part of that as well, and they brought him in. Didn't work out, and Mike Vrabel was available somehow because so every team passed on him the last season.
Yeah.
Patriots got a gem in their lap, and they got Vrabel back to New England, who obviously was a part of that Belichick era as a player. Had a lot of success in Tennessee as a head coach. Was let go, had a year off, and now he's back in New England. He brings Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, for a long time back. He's going to be a great fit for Drake May. This team really brought in a good coaching staff to give this young roster a chance at competing this year. And you mentioned it. They went in the draft and got a franchise left tackle in Will Campbell, who's a player we'll talk about a little bit with a counterpart they got in the draft here shortly. But the thing I want to talk about is their free agent class, man. Dan, let's just say they had a boatload of cash to spend and they went out and spent it, and they left no money left on the table. They added big guys like Milton Williams in that unit. They brought back Harold Landry with Mike Vrabel. Carlton Davis is coming over from Detroit. You bring in Stephon Diggs from the Houston Texans as well. Some smaller pieces mixed in here like Mac Hollins, Morgan Moses, Marcus Epps, some other guys as well that fit into this depth. And they didn't really lose key pieces either. They lost some veteran guys like Dietrich Wise, who's been around for a while, not necessarily game breakers. What do you think of this free agent class that, has some top heavy players, potentially overpaid for some other guys, but do you like what they're doing, just basically improving the roster and spending a boatload of money with a quarterback and a rookie contract?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the secret. When you got a rookie quarterback, you got to spend money. And New England had a lot of money this offseason, and then they definitely spent it, man. I mean, I love the addition of Milton Williams. He was awesome with the Eagles. They had a lot of depth there, and he's going to be a great player for them. I love all these other players. They took a lot of players from the Raiders. I know that. Robert Spillane. Not. He played for the Steelers, and then he went to the Raiders, and he was one of their best defenders the past two seasons. So he's going to be a great addition in that defense. Obviously, Mac Hollins, and then Stephon Diggs. We can talk about him. He's recovering from the ACL, and he's on track to play Week 1. And he's going to be another weapon for Drake May, and I think he has the potential to thrive in Josh McDaniels' offense.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, right? You have already Christian Gonzalez as that anchor on the defensive side of the ball that you call it.
Yeah,
The offense has Drake May as their anchor. They went out and added players that fit well, I think, with both these guys. On the defensive side of things, right? Pairing Gonzalez with another strong corner and Carlton Davis forms a really strong secondary, which is something New England, was really good at for a long time as the secondary. They didn't necessarily pay the guys in the secondary, but they have a really strong cornerback room. Pass rush wise, they're still not there yet, but Milton Williams is a step in the right direction. A guy that was really good for the Eagles in their interior defensive line. The edge rushers, I'm concerned a little bit about. You have Christian Barmore there. It looks like Milton Williams could potentially mix in a little bit at the edge position. We'll see what happens, but Harold
Yeah, they
Landry, I
got
think, will
Keon
operate.
White.
Yeah,
They got
Dion
Keon White.
White's mixed in there as well. I think like the defense is a makeshift group of a lot of veterans that have had success in the NFL and could form a formidable unit. But the offensive side of the ball, I think, is where a lot of us see the potential breakthrough. We talked about Will Campbell. There's another guy, Travion Henderson, that was added to this group. Kyle Williams, a player we talked about before the show, added to this group as well. And a complete shift in the offensive line. You have two different tackles. You have a new center. You have a new running back. You have 2 to 3 new receivers, right? Dan, this offense is completely different. What do you like about it most?
Well, I think, it's gonna sound cheesy because he wasn't a great head coach, but Josh McDaniels, man, he's a great offensive mind, and he returns back to New England just like Vrabel. He won 6 Super Bowls as a coach there in New England, and I think he's gonna do great things with Drake May. Drake May is gonna evolve and continue to grow, and then I just think he's gonna scheme a lot of things up for Drake May. It wasn't easy for him last year. He got hit a lot, and I think he's gonna thrive with Josh McDaniels there.
Yeah, the situation for him wasn't good. They did everything they can to improve it for him. You add Stephon Diggs, who has really made some young quarterbacks very successful. He's played with C.J. Stroud. He's played with Josh Allen. Right? Those guys he elevated their play. I know Stroud had a down year last year, but Diggs played very well for that Houston Texans team. Drake May has never had a guy like that in his receiver room. Pop Douglas in the slot, I think, is an underrated football player, but he's not a number one on a team right now where he is. Their other position, the Z, it looks like they're still trying to figure out what they're going to do with this part. It's a mix of Kyle Williams, Kendrick Bourne, who's getting healthy, had a really strong year before his injury situation, but we'll see what he winds up mixing. And then you have Mac Hollins there. But Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson is the backfield I really want to discuss because when Josh McDaniels was running good offenses, he was mixing guys in. You had like a backfield of LeGarrette Blount and James White, where you had that third down guy mixed with that power type back. Stevenson's not a bad rusher by any means. He had a really strong season in terms of rushing, efficiency last year, but the fumbles were the biggest problem for him last year. You bring in a guy like Travion Henderson, who's a home run hitter. Honestly, player comp is Jamal Charles, Jameer Gibbs type player. Already showed his explosiveness. In the first game of the preseason, this guy has a third down row locked up. He's going to be the player that they get the ball the most in key situations, and he's going to be in for a monster year, making things a lot easier on Drake May in this New England Patriots offense. So I'm really excited about this group of collective weapons they have together. What are you excited about most in terms of the weapons and what they can do with these type of pieces?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, the rookie Travion Henderson from Ohio State, man. I mean, did you watch Week 1 of the preseason, man? I mean, that was incredible. That kick return, he took it to the house, and he looked so good, explosive, and I think just like I said again, Josh McDaniels, I think he knows how to use these pieces. You give him pieces to play with on the chessboard, and he's gonna know exactly how to use them. And I think Stevenson's pretty underrated. They're going to use them both, and just like with the Raiders, his former gig, Josh McDaniels, he had a history of not using running backs. He like you said, like he used split running backs, but like will he rely heavily on the rookie in his first year? I don't know. What's the workload going to be like? That's probably the question for me, but I think they're going to be pretty good this year.
Yeah, and you kind of look at their schedule, obviously, in their division. The division itself, Dan, you obviously have Buffalo, who's completely destroyed these
Yeah.
teams as the division's gotten weaker, it feels like, over the last 5 to 10 years. Right? Buffalo's ran this division since Josh Allen really broke out. Now, outside of Buffalo, seems like it's a pretty open field right now. Why don't you talk about where the Dolphins are and the Jets are where heading into this year?
Yeah, well, I just think they're rebuilding. I mean, obviously the Dolphins, they got some talent, but unfortunately, Tua has trouble staying healthy. Let's hope he stays healthy this year. But I think there's a lot going on in Miami. With Tyreek Hill as well. You never know with them. And then but the Bills. It's the Bills division. Obviously, you got MVP Josh Allen, so it's the Bills division to beat, and then obviously the Jets, New York Jets. You got Aaron Glenn coming in, and he's trying to rebuild that team too. So this is a great year for New England. They spent a lot of money. Mike Vrabel's a good coach. I mean, his first year in Tennessee, he went 9-7. He's got a 54-45 record as a coach. Man, he doesn't like to lose. He's gonna install a new culture of toughness. He's gonna rely on that defense. And I just think it's all up from here, man. It's looking positive for New England. So I mean, you never know. They might split with the Bills this year. You never know, man. It's a division. It's Patriots Bills, man. That they're gonna go at it this year. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
real
would be
excited to
very
watch it.
surprised that the Patriots win 4 games again for the 3rd straight year. That would
Yeah,
be, that's not gonna happen. They're gonna be much better than that. In terms of their schedule and the teams they play, like, the Dolphins just lost Chop Robinson potentially for the year. That's another big loss they could not afford. The Jets, we don't know what's going on with that situation. Seems like there's more drama to come out of New York than there is positive reports with, a Breece Hall trade potentially coming. The
yeah,
defense, you have Sauce Gardner struggling with a little bit of a calf injury right now. Who knows what we're going to get from them, but I can't trust a team with Fields right now as their starting quarterback. So the Patriots, they're a little bit enticing. And then you look at their schedule, they play a 4th place schedule. They open up against the Raiders, you have the Dolphins, Steelers, Panthers. Out of that 4-week stretch, it realistically could be 2-2, 3-1 if they play really good football. And then you get like Buffalo mixed in there, and then a really easy schedule of New Orleans, Tennessee, Cleveland. Then you go Atlanta, Tampa Bay, New York, Cincinnati, New York, and then you end the season with a tougher schedule of Buffalo, Baltimore, New York, Miami.
yeah.
I genuinely think if the Patriots can take advantage of the first 13 weeks of their schedule to where it's not world beaters, these are teams that missed the playoffs last year. We realistically could see a 10-7 Patriots team behind a talented group of offensive playmakers, a rising Drake May, a coaching staff that has won a lot in the past. Dan, I'm excited about this team. Do you see the same excitement with an easier schedule?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, it's a fourth place schedule, and just like those other teams, Aaron Glenn's a first time head coach. It's going to take him a little bit to get his feet underneath him. And Mike Vrabel, he's been there and done that. He's going to hit the ground running. He's not here for no rebuild. He's ready to win. He's ready to win now. So, just like I mean, I'm going to bring it back to like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. That their old saying was like the season doesn't start till after Thanksgiving. They're real young. They might take a little time to integrate and form as a team earlier in the season, but that schedule gets tough towards the end, and that they're going to hope that they're playing their best ball after Thanksgiving.
100%. I can see a real possibility where the New England Patriots might be the most surprising team in the NFL. But to me and you, Dan, I don't think it'd be that surprising. They have the talent,
No,
they
not
have
at
the
all.
coaching. This is a different Patriots team that we need to be looking out for in 2025. Let us know down in the comment section below if you guys are buying into this Patriots breakout this season. If you're not, let us know as well down in the comments. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more Blitz Sports Media content. And me and Dan will catch you guys next time.